Eddie Hearn says that when boxing returns, the Dillian Whyte Alexander Povetkin fight will be behind closed doors. He says that this will be one of the first fights that they're going to put on when boxing returns, and that they're looking to do it maybe late July or early August, and maybe also put, I think, Katie Taylor or something against Serrano on the undercard. And again, all behind closed doors. Now, Dillian Whyte is the kind of guy who would fight you in your own backyard, literally, in your back garden, in a car park, wherever. He doesn't care. But will the lack of a crowd affect his performance? Because a lot of fighters feed off the crowd. You know, some fighters are the opposite. Some fighters are gym fighters and they produce by far their best form behind closed doors in the gym. When they're in front of a big crowd of people, they just can't produce the goods on the big stage when everybody's watching. They get almost like they get stage fright. As I say, some fighters are the opposite. Some fighters need the crowd in order to bring the best out of themselves. Now, my suspicion is that a lack of crowd would be more likely to affect Dillian Whyte than Povetkin. And the only reason I say that is because of the fact that Dillian Whyte is used to having a lot of support when he fights. Like when he fought, well, over the past few years, he's been fighting at the O2 and whatnot, and he's built up a nice fan base for himself. He's been headlining pay-per-views and whatnot. And I think he's used to having the crowd scream his name. He likes the entrance where he's howling like a wolf and doing all that kind of stuff. He feeds off the energy of the crowd to some degree. Povetkin's a guy who's been fighting on the road. So even though he's in front of big crowds as well, he's not the one being cheered on. So, and look, some guys, they feed off the crowd in a different way, like Chris Eubank Sr., for example. He was a guy who loved the crowd booing him, as perverse as that sounds. That's how Chris Eubank Sr. was. He used to get a rush of energy when the crowd would boo him. That's what he actually said out of his own mouth, words to that effect. Is Povetkin like that? Does he need the crowd to be hostile to give himself energy? I just think Povetkin is an old school, stone-faced Eastern European who really doesn't care about anything other than turning up to fight and getting paid. That's it. I don't think he's interested in the crowd or what they're doing or saying. He just looks like a dude who doesn't care. We can fight in a school gymnasium. I mean, it doesn't matter with no people watching. He's going to perform just the same. That's the impression I get from Povetkin, because he has been a road warrior for the past few years. Whereas with Dillian Whyte, I'm sure Whyte can fight anywhere, in the street, wherever. But maybe it might affect him more. Maybe he won't be quite as sharp. Maybe he won't be quite as on it if it's a behind closed doors fight. But it will be interesting to me. I know it's not ideal. We prefer fights to be in front of a crowd and have lots of atmosphere. But I will be curious to see these behind closed doors fights, whether they're going to have, like with a sitcom, where they've got like fake audience noises in the background for some of them sitcoms. Are they going to do that? Are they going to, how are they going to do it? Is it just going to be completely quiet in the studio? You'll be able to hear the trainers but it'll be like a televised sparring session. It'll be so weird, but I will be interested to watch it. You'll also be able to hear the punches a lot more clearly with no crowd there. Yeah. And that'll also be very interesting because a lot of the time the sound of the punches is drowned out by the crowd noise. But this will be more like sparring where you see two real powerful heavyweights wailing away at each other, and the force of the blows will be more palpable. You'll be able to get a sense of how powerful these guys really are because of the fact that there's no crowd drowning out the sound of the punches. So that'll be interesting as well, for you guys out there who haven't been to a professional boxing show, you haven't spent your lifetime around gyms, etc., so you don't know what it's like seeing big heavyweights wail away at each other. For those of you who don't know what that's like, you'll be interested, watching a Whyte Povetkin fight behind closed doors. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Who will this affect more, Povetkin or Dillian Whyte? Will the outcome be different because of it? Will there be less pay-per-view sales because of it? I mean, look, there's going to be less pay-per-view sales moving forward over the next few years because the economy is in absolute tatters, and it will be for maybe a decade or more to come. I mean, I don't think people really understand the incredible amount of damage which has been done to the economy because of the current situation that we're going through right now. And people are going to have far less disposable income. And that will become more and more apparent as the months and years roll on. Yeah. And that will affect boxing. Massive. In a massive way. It's definitely going to affect boxing. So enjoy it while it lasts. And as I say, it may affect the Whyte Povetkin figures. The fact that there's no crowd there, they're probably going to have to pay the guys less because there won't be a gate. It'll all be pay-per-view. But even then, how many people are really going to tune in for the pay-per-view? I think initially, because people just want to return to normality, there might be some decent numbers maybe later on this year for some pay-per-views. But as things roll on and the true extent of the incredible amounts of unemployment, etc., start to come to the fore, then you're going to see a big drop-off in pay-per-view numbers, in attendance figures, all that kind of stuff, unfortunately. But, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening. I'm out.